Gorilla Tag, a game that is always changing. And a game that's always changing needs new content. Some people might say that the most special part of Gorilla Tag is the 4 game modes. Some might say that the most special part of Gorilla Tag is the community. Some might say that the most special part of Gorilla Tag is the movement. And others will say that it's the fact that their bank accounts disappear in this game. But I think it's the maps. There are currently 9 Gorilla Tag maps, and they are always changing. So today, I'm going to be going through the evolution of all the Gorilla Tag maps to see which one has evolved the most. Some have been revamped, others have had updates, like a lot of updates, and some will always keep changing. So please, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video where I talk about the evolution of Gorilla Tag maps. Let's get right into it. When you first get into Gorilla Tag, you start in Tutorial, and Tutorial leads you to Forest. Now this map is truly the OG map. This is the first map every single Gorilla Tag player ever played in. Most of the things that started in Forest have stayed in Forest. These include the campfire, the trees, the tree house, this bench, the double walls, and of course, Stump. Forest has not had a revamp yet, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been changing. You see, right now we're in the summer camping update, but every season Forest changes. In this update, we have benches and grills, coolers, water balloon buckets, the trampoline, and of course, the summer camp. But things get different around here. Like during fall, all the leaves turn red, brown, and gold. And for holidays like Halloween and Christmas, there are also decorations for those. Also, a few things have changed in Forest since it came out, including the stump, the gazebo, and of course, Secret Tunnel. Alright, that's it for Forest. Let's move on to the next map, which is City. Now, this is a classic OG map, but is it really OG? Well, back in the old days of Gorilla Tag, there wasn't a city, there was a hat room. And this hat room had few hats, including the top hat, the chef hat, the cowboy hat, this hat, and some others. Part of the reason City is so special is because this is where you buy cosmetics, and every 2 weeks there is a new update with new cosmetics. Sometimes there's flashbacks. Like in this update, they had a flashback for the Caves update 1 year ago. City is also the place where you waste all your money on this machine right here. City has probably had the most dramatic change out of all the maps. From Hat Room to all this is actually crazy. But speaking of the Caves flashback, the next map is Caves. Now Caves might also have the most dramatic change out of any map in Gorilla Tag. This is what Caves looked like originally, and this is what it looks like now. But Caves also just had its very second big update. You see, before, all the crystals were purple, including this big one, and it was not flooded like it is now. But in the new update, everything is flooded, and we even have a new animal. And speaking of that, in the first revamp, when everything was changed, we also got introduced to Matt the Bat. He was the second ever animal in Gorilla Tag, next to Doug. We also have Mark the Shark down there swimming around, and you can grab onto him. We also have decorations like this massive shark, and of course the summer decorations. Caves changes like Forest does, but it's not the same. You see, Caves will change for seasons and holidays, but not like Forest. Forest has way more dramatic changes than Caves, but it has not been dramatically changed in a revamp. And also, that's Mark the Shark. Did Caves have the biggest revamp? Probably, but this next map might be even bigger. Canyons. An OG map that was a lot different in the original days of Gorilla Tag. This is what it looked like before its revamp, and this is what it looks like after. You see, Canyons has always been very special. It's always been the secondary to Forest. Also, a big YouTuber that you might have heard of, VMT, comes from this place. He's a hillbilly. Overall, I think the Canyons revamp was very good, but some people didn't like it. A lot of OG Gorilla Tag players preferred the older, simpler version. But I think this one's better. With a lot of ropes to swing on and zip lines to zoom around on, I think it makes Canyons a more complicated but more fun map. Canyons also changes like Forest. It has updates. Canyons does get a lot of change, unlike some other maps. This is probably because Canyons is a pretty OG map, and they've been working on it for a long time now. But nothing will beat the most dramatic entrance of a map ever. Beach. And you might be wondering why I'm still in Forest, but the entrance is very important. Back in the old days of Gorilla Tag, the creator accidentally left a little crack under this wall, and it was called Secret Tunnel. Now, nothing was back here, and he didn't actually mean to do it, but it evolved into one of the greatest Gorilla Tag maps ever. Now, Beach has a very, very long entrance, unlike a lot of other maps. You have to come through here, go on that zip line or go through the water, and then climb up this massive rope. But this rope means a lot, and I'll tell you why. When Beach first opened, people had to climb up this rope, but this means that Beach also has zip lines and ropes. Now, I think the zip lines and ropes in Beach are way more fun. Beach also gets a lot of updates. As you can see here, the 4th of July fireworks are still going off. Every once in a while they will. It's kind of special that I get to see this right now. Beach is a massive map, but it's super fun. Beach also brought the new mechanic of swimming. But Beach has changed too, but it hasn't changed that much. It really only changes with the seasons, kinda just like Forest. Beach has not been revamped yet, but some will say it has been revamped because of Secret Tunnel, but I don't really think that. Beach changes a lot in the fall. During Halloween, it is awesome. In fact, Beach has to be one of my favorite maps. It also changed a lot in the summer update, and probably because it is a beach. So, Beach is really cool, but this next map is absolutely crazy. Clouds. When Clouds first came out, it was much smaller than it is today. The only cool feature it had was low gravity, but only in certain spots. Clouds is the most hated on map before the revamp. It was too big to play Infection, but not big enough to do anything fun. It's like you were too far away from any players to actually do anything. And because the map was so big, it had so much potential. But that's what they did with the revamp. Before the revamp, Clouds didn't have any of this. It was just a boring map that nobody ever played. But Clouds also added a new mechanic. And this mechanic is gliding. If you grab on one of these leaf gliders and you go into this wind tunnel, when you get good at controlling it, you can zoom around and go through these holes, which I can't because I'm not very good at this, but Clouds is a really fun map. It's not great for Infection still, but in casual it is so much fun. They also added new features to the map, including these vines. So overall, Clouds did get a lot better, but it's still the least played map. Probably because you can't play Infection in it and it's only for casual lobbies. And a lot of times, if you actually try to join any other game mode than casual, you'll be the only one in here. But before the revamp, even if you join on casual, sometimes you'd find nobody in here. Now, this revamp was loved, but it's not the exact same story for this final map. Mountains. And oh my god, has Mountains changed. Now, Mountains is a very loved map. In the OG's days, it looked like this, and Gorilla Tag entirely changed the whole layout. We now have new ramps like this one, and the slide has also been changed. This whole layout is also different, but a lot of people were not happy with this change. A lot of OG players miss the simpler mountains, and now this is a lot more complicated. I personally think it's more fun. And that would be the end for Mountains until recently. In the new update, this happened. It's the forest floor. The snow is melting. And just today, Gorilla Tag put out a tweet saying, "We're melting mountains." What's happening with Mountains? Well, I think it's just for the summer. When winter hits again, Mountains will go back. This is crazy. This might be one of the best revamps of all time, or one of the worst. So, Mountains is overall a very fun map. I think the change was good, but I'm excited for what's coming next. Mountains melting has got to be one of the most unexpected changes in the history of Gorilla Tag. Now, I know I didn't talk about some maps, but those maps are relatively new, and I did not have time to fit them in this video. But if you want me to do a part 2, let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, that's the end for today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more short form and long form content. See ya.